Hi, everybody. All right, it is July 22nd, 2021. I came across this article, so I thought I would share it with you. Homeland Security announces border and travel restrictions for American citizens due to COVID, but border will remain wide open for illegal immigrants. They are rubbing it in our faces now. Something I've been saying for a long time. Department of Homeland Security initiating an enhanced and intentional effort to antagonize lawful American people into a place of extreme anger. This is not hypocrisy. So, the DHS is now announcing enhanced travel restrictions for law-abiding Americans, blocking non-essential travel into Mexico and Canada. At the same time, it's facilitating a mass influx of illegal entry into the United States. I really hope that you are prepared for an awful lot of violent chaos that's going to break out sooner rather than later. I hope you have people in your life that you can trust. I really hope that you are not alone, because things are going to get really bad very soon. Here, to decrease the spread of COVID-19, including the Delta variant, the United States is extending restrictions on non-essential travel at our land and ferry crossings with Canada and Mexico through August 21st, while ensuring the continued flow of essential trade and travel. And, well, this month it was nearly 200,000 illegals crossed the border. And I will call them illegal because they are illegally crossing the border. They are violating U.S. immigration law, regardless of our fabulous prez and vice prez who say, come on in, we'll open the door for you. They get to violate the law. We're seeing all of the corruption. It's in our face. They're rubbing it in our face. But I guess we're just too demoralized and just let it rip. Well, it's going to rip right into all of us. Often we see people ask, why are they so openly admitting to their wrongdoing and still carrying it out? You know, did I post a video recently talking about how the Department of Housing and Urban Development is prioritizing illegal immigrants over Americans for housing? I think I did, but sometimes I just go on and on and on. I think I'm going to post a video and I don't. Well, that also. Americans are getting such the shaft, and it's unfortunate that an awful lot just don't care. They honestly don't care. Like the elite that don't care, a whole lot of Americans don't care. I see it. I feel it. Live or die, who cares? Well, yeah. Okay. They simply don't care. They're openly admitting the corruption, the violations that they commit of law, of Constitution. In many ways, they openly behave this way, just to see if they're going to get a rise from Americans, and they don't. So they have more contempt for Americans because they just sit back and take it. And contempt is what they feel. It is not a sense of boundless hypocrisy that drives the far left to showcase their disconnect. It's not disconnect. It is pure contempt. And it's not just the far left. It's a whole lot of ordinary Americans. It's a whole lot on the right who just don't care. You know, we've become almost like, a population of individuals, an island unto ourselves. Well, I got mine, and I don't care about anybody else. They act as rulers and dictators without accountability because that puts the victim, we the people, automatically in a demoralized, subservient role. Really? Haven't we done that ourselves? We've put ourselves in that role. We put ourselves in that role. We got to do work to get ourselves out of that role. But most people just don't want to do that work. We are in a very precarious time. Oh, we are. And we must be careful as we are inundated by the openness of the corruption in the system. The radicals want a reaction. They want a strong, perhaps violent reaction, as that plays into their larger objective. Misplaced anger toward the visibility of the corruption can be weaponized against us. Well, even not misplaced, I think we're at a point now where they can just use anything. But because we've sat back, yeah. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but I will go out saying this. We did this to ourselves. Because we did become a people who really only cared about our own little piece of pie. Do the elites care if we know? They want people to know. What we know is because they don't care or they want us to know. Elitism, in its most raw and brutal display, is a system of people who are beyond reproach according to their own outlook. The pathological narcissists, the psychopaths, and an awful lot of Americans who have a whole lot of issues and never worked on, unresolved, and they just fling them about, and they don't care what they do to other people. You know, if we were a healthy people, we would not be here. We would not be living what we are living. What does it matter? Maybe nothing. Maybe nothing to some of you. It matters to me. They must not be questioned. You can't question these people. Nope. They are in ultimate control of society, outcomes, or fill in the blank, as an extension of their self-proclaimed magnanimity. Yes, magnanimous. Elites do not have to wear masks, Pelosi. Or elites do not have to abide by group or social distance rules, Newsom. Or elites do not have to concern themselves for carbon emissions, Kerry. Elites do not have to worry about the justice system, Clinton, Comey, Pelosi, all of them. Insider trading. Once again, it was in our face. Pelosi and her husband made a shitload of money. But who cares? This is not hypocrisy. This is a fundamental part of creating a classist society. Classist society. Everybody, 99%, low. Gutting, middle class, upper middle class. You'll have rich, and you'll have poor. Rules for thee, not for me. It's a worldview. The outlook gained popularity going all the way back to the formation of the Fabian Socialist Society. George Bernard Shaw saying, quote, "At a certain point, those outside the club will have to justify their existence." Shaw was advocating for a genetic cleansing of those undeserving people who take more from society, more than they provide in value. Get rid of them. This Fabian socialist outlook is the most extreme form of elitism. The actual extermination of undesirables, but it is essentially along the same continuum as believing there are two sets of rules depending on your place in the hierarchy of society. This outlook has been modernized to include the latest industry of big tech. Those who control technocracy have merged with those who control the politics of society. The outcome is elites deciding which voices are allowed to participate in the national conversation and which voices must be ostracized because they are not compliant to the elitist narrative, worldview. It is critical, actually beyond critical, that people start to accept what we are witnessing is not some misplaced system created by bad actors. We are at war with the elite. Unfortunately, the American people are at war with one another. Those bad actors are actually elites who benefit from numbing society to the sheer audacity of their ideology. Weaponizing COVID-19 as a tool to control the population is purposeful. None of this is without design. And guess what? White House considering another mask mandate. Guess what? Lockdowns are coming. And the economy is, well, let's just stay on that fabulous immigration. Now, what country in their right mind would just open their border, allow hundreds of thousands of immigrants to come across illegally and set them up, actually, housing, medical, education, set them all up. Why would a country do that when its own citizens are hurting really badly? It's got to be, a strategy to destroy that country. But the other thing, here, remember, they have released out of prison because of COVID hundreds of thousands of prisoners across the country. Oh, now they say that they're rounding them up to put them back in prison. Really? Okay. I'm sure those prisoners are just going to step forward. All single adult Venezuelan, Haitian, Cuban migrants to get mass release. Included in that crossing are gangs like MS-13. Is it MS or M13? I'm not sure. Yeah. It is rated the #1 most violent gang in the world. They're all over the United States. Now, those who are thoroughly corrupt, who are actively destroying this country, they use all of these people. First of all, crime is a method of control. They use crime to control all of us. Think of all of these people as cells. terrorist cells, waiting for their orders. Now, I heard it was actually Tucker Carlson talking about, well, a guest of his, how the military was flying in illegal immigrants, flying them all over the country. Now, during the Obama years, we also saw that as well. I posted, I don't know, about a month ago. It was after our VP's trip to Guatemala. And then after she meets with the president of Guatemala, she makes this announcement: don't come. Don't come, Guatemalans. Don't you come to the border. You won't get in. Meanwhile, the Democrats, Harris, Biden, all of them, come on in. We have room for you. We'll set you up in housing. And Americans are just doing so well that we will prioritize you for everything. No, Americans are so programmed to just bend over and take it. Come on in. It was just after that I posted a video on the flying, not military, but the flying of immigrants from, I believe, Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador into the United States. So, yeah, we're in big trouble. You know, ICE director admits Biden administration has limited ability to track illegal immigrants released into the United States. So, have you seen this?
Oh, here you go. You got people coming in now. Take a look at this. A lot of young adult men being let through now. So every person who was just let through is appears to be a single adult male. Based on a lot of the people we've talked to, not all of them would qualify for what you would just generally think of as asylum. A lot of these are going to be economic migrants, right? They want a better job. And that's not an asylum claim. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be persecution from a government, fearing for your life, that sort of a thing. That doesn't mean they're not going to be let in, but a lot of the folks that we've talked to, they're coming here for a better life in terms of economics.
This is the same spot where yesterday a group of 300 plus, Border Patrol tells us, crossed. Wasn't the same group. There was a bunch of smaller groups that accumulated and waited at the gate for transport. We know they are limited on transport vans right now.
Okay, so I'll link below to this. You can watch it, the full, video. But look, it truly, it's so remarkable what's happening in Cuba, and our government, our president, our head of Department of Homeland Security. He did a Kamala Harris, telling Cubans not to come. Don't come. They have a legitimate claim to come here. They are being persecuted. But don't come. Those of you who have legitimate claims, we don't want you to come to the United States, experience freedom, and then, get your citizenship and work and contribute. No. We want illegals from countries, actually, well, Cuba is also one of them, but, countries that we've destroyed. How do you really think that these people who are crossing the border right now actually love Americans? They don't.
migrants attempting to cross into the U.S. As 3 News anchor Mike Gillespie reports, the size of those groups is growing, leaving some to speculate the impact it has on rising COVID numbers.
According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents, there has been a spike in large groups of migrants, defined as 100 or more, traveling together trying to make their way into this country. Those who patrol the 19 counties that make up the Rio Grande Valley sector have encountered nearly 80 such groups this year, with the largest so far detained Monday in Starr County, about 30 miles west of Mission. That group was made up of nearly 300 people, just part of the more than 15,000 individuals apprehended in the Rio Grande Valley in 1 week. With numbers like that, you may be wondering whether there is also a surge in COVID cases because of those groups. When asked, a CBP spokesperson would only say that suspected COVID-19 cases are referred to local health systems for appropriate testing, diagnosis, and treatment. The city of Laredo has filed a lawsuit against the Department of Homeland Security in an effort to keep the agency from sending them migrants from the Rio Grande Valley. They cite an increase in positive rates, jumping from 4% in May to 8% in July.
And isn't it interesting that mainstream media is really on it, reporting, oh my God, there's a rise in the number of cases of Delta variant, and most of these migrants are not getting vaccinated. Oh yeah, okay. Very interesting. I will link below. You can listen to the full. Oh no, this is the tunnels. Okay.
San Antonio's News with Ryan Wolf, Camilla Rambaldi, Chief Meteorologist Alex Garcia, and investigative reporter.
Businesses smuggling drugs under the border. Tonight we go on the front lines with the DEA to see firsthand, for the first time, where an underwater tunnel was found and destroyed. It's the main protagonist in most border stories. The Rio Grande dividing the United States and Mexico. The dreamers from the American dream, and the cartels from their number one market, the United States.
Organizations, they have the capital, they also have the resources and the engineers to, determine if these things can be built. They have the time.
Time and money has proven to be on the side of the criminal organizations, as El Chapo Guzman proved twice, having tunnels built that would lead him out to freedom from the Mexican prisons he was being held in. Those were not the only tunnels found. Since 1990, Customs and Border Protection has discovered nearly 200 cross-border tunnels used to smuggle illicit drugs, humans, weapons, and money.
Well, the tunnel.
And what a farce, okay? Of course, during the Obama years, Fast and Furious. Oh, and they're still claiming that the Obama administration, oh my God, it was a sterling administration with no scandals. It was up the wazoo with scandals. But in mainstream media kept those quiet. Oh, the Democrats that I had as friends at that time would just roll their eyes. They didn't want to know. They are absolutely part of the destruction of America, because they were walking the low road and Obama, he walks on water and I love him and don't ever say anything about him and I'm not interested in the truth. I'm just interested in this friggin' fairy tale. Yeah, we're done. So, Fast and Furious, Obama, his attorney general, what the hell was his name? They were involved with gun smuggling into Mexico to the cartels. Do Americans really, really believe that our DEA agents are just pure and innocent and they're not working with the cartels? Working with the federales on the Mexican side, the police on the Mexican side? Do we not have the technology to scan land to see through, to discover all of those tunnels? Absolutely we do. So, a few minutes of this, and I will link below, but yeah, who are the migrants crossing the U.S. southern border from around the globe?
Major drivers behind this wave are groups dedicated to streamlining illegal immigration into the U.S. That includes the UN-affiliated International Organization for Migration, which employs more than 9,000 worldwide with an almost $2 billion budget. Its stated mission is to promote humane and orderly migration, helped along by tens of millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars and grants by the likes of George Soros' Open Society Foundation.
If you look on the walls of the buildings that are facing the river, what we can see are signs directed at the migrants. So this one behind me says, if you are in fear of your life in your country, you can ask for protection as a refugee in Mexico. And what they're trying to do is put people into the system. And that's one of the things that's really changed here as the migrants move north, is that now there's a process, now there's a system. As I've reported on this in previous years, it was just absolute chaos, but now it's pretty organized.
And international criminal organizations are also getting in on the action, gleaning large payoffs every step of the way. Michael is a 12-year-old Haitian working his way north from Chile, where his family had been living for years. Joe Biden's election convinced them to head to the United States.
Ellos violaron a muchas mujeres.
They raped many of the women. They robbed all of us. Then they wanted money to take us to the refugee camps.
His 16-year-old sister, Madesi, was nearly raped herself.
I told the thief not to touch me because I'm a virgin. One of them laughed and told me, I am in charge here and I can do whatever I want.
Madesi's mother saved her by handing over her jewelry. Other women weren't so lucky.
They raped many women in my group. They hurt some and beat them. It was very scary. Some women had husbands or children, but they raped them anyway. Some women even die later from the stress of what happened.
As more than 5,000 pour across the southern border each day, changes in U.S. policy are having profound effects throughout Latin America and beyond. And the cost in human misery is beyond reckoning.
Right. So how much do you really think the Biden administration just loves all of these people who come from all of these countries? Really? Are you that flippin' stupid? Something else is going on here. The United Nations, and I've posted many videos on the United Nations involvement. They have a compact with the world's countries, an immigration compact, getting all of these people to come into Western societies in particular because the world is changing. Oh, it's not just changing organically. It's radically changing because the elite are changing it. And there's more of us than there are of them. And, look, what did we do to Haiti? What did we do to the Clintons? The Clinton Foundation after the earthquake, and wow, man. Well, you could do some research to find out if you don't know. Yep, I posted on that. The human trafficking, the sex trafficking from Haiti after the earthquake. Okay, well, this is where we're at, and I have to tell you, based on what I see, we are going down fast. Some are calling for, not calling for, but suspect that we're going to have lockdowns in August. And that would be interesting, huh? A lockdown? How about a really strict lockdown? Wouldn't that destroy the economy? Maybe even put the final nail in the coffin? And then all hell breaks loose? I also saw headlines today of massive internet outages. Some 32,000 websites down. That kind of scares the shit out of me. Because I have no one. If I don't have this, I'm done. So, yeah, I hope you're prepared. And whoever you have in your life, please make sure that you really are aware of how you treat them. Don't betray them. Don't lie to them. Don't, things are getting really bad, okay? Things are getting really bad. So, I just... Alrighty. I hope you're okay. Ciao.